That's just sports, baby.
Crowd goes wild, strawberry ice bringing fire and style. Reds, Bengals, Bearcats, all in my zone. This is my stage, my mic, my throne. Boom, like a hammer, I'm breaking the game. Strawberry ice, you're gonna know my name. Sports Talk Thunder, hear the podcast roar. Cincy's line is kicking down the door. Step into the ring where the passion ignites. Talking sports all day and all night. From the field to the court to the rowing stands. Strawberry ice with the world in my hands. Boom, like a hammer, I'm breaking the game. Strawberry ice, you're gonna know my name. Sports Talk Thunder, hear the podcast roar. Cincy's line is kicking down the door.
Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to the show. This is Sports with Strawberry Ice. I'm your host, Iceman Jeff Trunapole. And as always, I bring you sports from a West Side point of view right here in the great city of Cincinnati, Ohio. And as always, I'm coming to you live from the Ice Cave. The Ice Cave is brought to you by Priority Lawn and Landscaping. You got the grass or multiple properties, or just some big property you don't want to cut, or you got shrubbery that you don't like, you want to take it out, remove it, put some new stuff in there. Take Priority Lawn and Landscaping. Give them a call at 513-430-6114. That's 513-430-6114. You can also follow them on Facebook. I always recommend that so you can see videos and pictures of what they have done. So when you call Johnny, tell him you heard about it from Sports with Strawberry Ice. This September 9th at the Moorline Logger House. I'll be doing a live show there. It's the Dine for 9 for Good. The Joe Burrow Foundation is teaming up with multiple restaurants in the Cincinnati area. I'll be doing my live show at the Moorline Logger House from 5:30 to 7:30. We've got the Bengals all-time leading scorer, Jim Breach, will be there, along with two members of the Bearcat Final Four team, Terry Nelson and Corey Blunt, will both be there. Now, what does this mean for you? You guys just go there, make your reservations, sit down, enjoy the show, and 9% of everything that you pay for will go to the Joe Burrow Foundation. So make sure you mark down your calendars. 9 for 9. Moorline Logger House. You can go to my Facebook page. It is pinned to the top of it. What is up to everybody in the chat? We got Stranger in there. We got Brad in there. We got Brad's hoping for, or let's see, what you got here? I am hoping the reason they did not sign Risner was health related, not money. Well, we'll find out. Andrew's in there. Tony Blazin and T. Brookie. What is up? All right. As you guys know, the news hit today. Cordell Wilson is out for the year, most likely out for the year with a shoulder injury. Still, we have not signed Dalton Risner. He was heading to Seattle. Last I knew, the Reds are still in this. They're a 3-game winning streak. They're about to sweep the Los Angeles Angels tonight. Do you still believe? But let's talk Bengals here. We got the man with all the brains. Yeah, we got the Godfather, and we got the brain. It's John, the Brain Sheeran. Going on, John? How are you, sir?
I'm good. I apologize for my lateness. I was trying to match the energy what the Bengals are exhibiting with this right guard situation. So.
Oh, dude. I'm just glad you're here. I was getting a little worried. Like, I think John. I know you can't be on the whole time. I was like, I think John's gonna be here. If not, I'll do the whole hour by myself. All right. So what? Cordell Wilson, which he's done for the year, most likely. Risner was leaving here, going to Seattle. Last time I heard. Is there any new news? Do you know anything of what's going on, or why is he not signed? Why is Risner not in stripes?
This is kind of what he does, is it not? He signed in September, the first time he was a free agent with the Vikings. You re-signed with them in May. He was hurt for pretty much the entire first half of last season, so he really didn't show up until like November, whatever the case may be. He has spent this entire offseason just waiting out teams to see who needs interior offensive line help. The Bengals have needed interior offensive line help since 2016. So it's been a match made in heaven. Have you seen Ted Lasso?
Yes, I have. Yes.
So like I just actually finished the whole series, and like Zava, like the guy from like season 3, he's like renowned to be like the best soccer player in the world, but he's also just kind of like a head case to deal with. It's almost like we're treating Risner as Zava, where he's like, if he comes in, he just changes everything, makes everything better. But for whatever reason, just nothing is ever simple with him. And I'm not putting this on Risner at all.
Right,
Like, I
right,
think this
right.
was just the Bengals' typical thing of like, we have a price for you, and you can either accept this price and sign today, or you can see what else is out there for you. And I think that was more or less the case. We have nothing to speculate about whether or not it was health related or all. Typically, this is something where it's like they have a value for these guys when they bring them in. It sounds like the workout went well. It sounds like the visit went well. He's been eyeing the Bengals for the last several months, including his wife as well. So I think there's still a strong chance that if he does end up joining a team in the near future, it is the Bengals. But it's just a matter of the Bengals just didn't see quite the urgency I think a lot of people else would have had with the situation where it's like they need a guard. Might as well just bump that price up a couple $100,000, you know?
Right. They didn't have the urgency that us fans have had since 2016, like you said. It's like, come on. And one thing I said, and I like what you said, I kind of back to what I've been saying. I don't think Risner wanted to go through all of training camp. I think that's why he's waited so long, to be honest. And the thing is, people were coming at me like, well, nobody else is signing. I was like, I don't think he wants to do training camp. And now he went to Seattle, which hopefully he's left Seattle. I have no idea if his plane's in the air headed back to Cincinnati. I'll wait for somebody to give me some reports from Kenwood Mall. Is he out there shopping, or what's going on? So I still think he's coming here because he's getting older. You want a chance to win a Super Bowl. You got a better chance to win a Super Bowl with the Cincinnati Bengals than you do the Seattle Seahawks, in my opinion. So, Bengals bump the money up and let's get this going here. I'm hoping. I hope we'll find out here soon. Dustin here's got a comment for you. He says, "So, John D Knight probably should not have been a second round pick after all, huh? Haha. I do not think some potential trades for the Bengals might be happening. What do you guys think? And not talking trade Trey. I still think Knight's going to be good linebacker. I'm still holding out hope on that. But what's your thoughts?"
Yeah, I think that's been one of the biggest surprises because Demetrius Knight's been practicing with the starters for the entire offseason. He's been just in there and getting quality reps. Jamar Chase and Orlando Brown Jr. raving about like this guy like knows the playbook in and out. He's always in the right position. And in 2 preseason games, he hasn't looked the part, right? He doesn't look like a guy who's ready to start just
Looks
yet.
like a rookie.
Yeah, he looks exactly like a rookie. Barrett Carter, on the other hand, doesn't. He looks like he's playing a lot faster and freer. Obviously, there's something to be said about going against, second team offenses and everything like that. But the fact that Carter and Burks have looked more solid compared to Knight, I think it does open up the question about, is there any change in plan at linebacker in store for them? I think it might be a little bit too early there. But the whole thing with Knight was that despite the fact that he was going to be 25 years old as a rookie, he only started 2 years in college, and only one of them was at a Power 4 school. Like the other one was at Charlotte, right? So he had a very weird college career, and I think his age lended people to be like, yeah, this guy's going to be ready to go immediately. But that was always kind of the risk. Not only was he an older prospect, but he was an older prospect without a lot of experience. So it might just take some time. He might just be a microcosm for this entire defense, in which there is potential here for it to get better, but the first maybe month or so of the season might have a lot of rough stretches involved.
Yeah, I mean, I refuse to believe that what we've seen in these first 2 preseason games is what we're going to see, because it's been so bad. I mean, now the part that I've said before that scares me about this defense, that from what I've seen, is they're lining up wrong, they're missing the gaps, they're not tackling. Those things are fixable. But John, how many times have we said that over the last 2 years? We're lining up wrong, we're going the wrong gap, we're missing. I mean, same stuff. That's the part that irritates me, that we're seeing it still in the first 2 games. That's the part that is the red flag for me with this defense. I do think they're going to be better, but he said it might take a little while. But the good thing is this offense, I think, is taking off. I think they're going to be. It's not going to be like the New England game last year where we struggled in every aspect. I think our offense is going to be ready to go week 1, and I think even with our not so good defense week 1 and week 2. We should be 2-0. I think those are winnable games. Am I just got orange colored sunglasses on for the first 2 weeks? Or what do you think?
No, like I think the offense is obviously in a significantly better spot this year at this time compared to last year because they have everyone there, right? Like Gesicki hasn't practiced in a little bit, but it's not going to be that big of an adjustment to get him back in there. It's significantly different when you have Jamar Chase, struggling to get back into game shape and everything like that. When he took all of training camp off, everything is firing all cylinders with what they with their identity on offense. And that's going to need to carry them again for the first handful of weeks of the season. And there's more comfortability in that, considering the fact that they've gotten all this work and these reps in. I think on defense, like even if like best case scenario, Trey comes back in the last week of the offseason, like right around Labor Day, right? He's, just put your hand in the dirt and go after the passer, right? There's not that big of an adjustment.
It's not Jamar Chase. It's not having
exactly,
one route
right.
time. Yes.
But I'm with you in the sense of like, I understand what Zach is saying right now. Where it's like, oh, we're not going to show all of our cards in the preseason defensively. I get that. There's also something to be said about when the opposing offense isn't necessarily doing anything crazy either, but they're blowing you off the ball.
Right.
Like you're in the same situation in terms of like
big holes.
This is just middle school football out there. Nothing's crazy is happening, but you're still losing at the point of attack consistently with your starting defense. Like the two biggest answers, the additions on this defense are TJ Slaton and Demetrius Knight, and neither one of them had looked particularly strong. And the fact that nothing has really changed in those spots, considering despite the fact that there are new faces there, I think it's why you're seeing similar results compared to last year. So yes, they will call obviously a lot more schemes and plans and everything like that when the actual games begin. But right now, when everything is definitely just vanilla from both sides of the ball, it hasn't been promising. I think that's where the concern lies. And there's not a lot that Zach can talk his way out of that in that regard.
No, I mean, and and everybody comes to me like, I'm Mr. Positive. I'm like, there's not a lot to be positive about with this defense, the way they've looked, other than I think it's going to get better, but I have absolutely no facts to that other than it's got to get better because these guys are talented. They got Al Golden in here to make this better. And like I said, the alarming thing is missed tackles, line up the wrong spots, all that stuff. That's the stuff that shouldn't be happening in the first two preseason games, no matter how vanilla your defense is. You should be able to tackle people. And that's what they've been emphasizing in training camp is tackling. So that's the part that has been very just irritating to watch here. Now, getting to this offense, though, this is where go back to where I think they can start 2-0. When we have, and I still think the Bengals are a 10, 11, 12 win team. Somewhere around there is what I think. With this offense, because they've got, in my opinion, the best offense in football. Even if you sign Risner, which I still think they're going to, it's going to solidify our right guard. If you have Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Chase Brown, the elite against any NFL team, you got a chance to win. So that's where I think you still have the chance. And that's why, and they put such an emphasis to getting off to a good start. I actually think they're going to this year. What do you think? You think there's a good chance of that or what?
Yeah, I think the main I always want to give James Rapine credit for this take because I think he was on it before anyone else. It's not necessarily about Burrow playing in the preseason. I think that's definitely helped because he wants to test his internal clock, albeit I think he tested a little bit too much on Monday night, but that's another topic, right? Yeah. I think the main thing is just he's been healthy and he's been getting the work in training camp and everything has been in sync in that regard. And obviously when you face the same defense for 4 weeks, going on 4 weeks or whatever the case, like they're going to get used to your tells and they're going to get to their spots a lot quicker. And that's why you've seen the defense have success in training camp. That's what you see all around the league. But when the offense goes up against a new defense and they don't practice against Jamar Chase and T. Higgins very regularly, you see the difference. You see the value in having those guys just create and instill fear in you. And when they are hitting their stride as September comes around, that is a scary sight for the NFL. So that is what is going to need to happen in September if this team is to not start 0-2 and 0-3 again. But I do agree that they're on track to actually doing that for the first time. Yeah,
let's hope we're right. Now, going back to the offensive line again with the injury to Cordell Volson, which I wasn't sure he was going to make this team anyway. But let's just say for S's and giggles that they do sign Dalton Risner, which I think we both think they're still going to. Do you think Dalton will be in there week one? Do you think it'll be enough time for him to be ready to go, or will we have Patrick in there?
It's such a tough question. It seems like I don't have a good answer about anything with this right guard situation. It's in such disarray, and it was such an avoidable mess. The fact that it took multiple injuries just to get to this point, like the fact that multiple people had to get hurt just for them to realize that, oh, there's actually an upgrade over all this that's just out there waiting.
Been sitting out there.
Yeah. Bengals timing is just, it needs to be studied by professionals and professionals who are much more qualified than I. But no, I think that regardless of who is in a right guard, they can't afford to have any liabilities here if this offense is to carry them the way that they probably need to, again, for the first month or two of the season. There's going to be hit pieces out there about how Al Golden is probably not the best defensive coordinator, how this was a failed hire. You're probably going to see that sometime in September and October, depending on who they play, right? But I don't I'm not discounting the fact that when November and December comes around, the defense can start settling in, and then the sum of its parts can be greater than the whole cliche and everything like that. So
Yeah.
I think that is still very much in play. But it requires the offense to just not have an off week. And when you have an offensive line that has right now a clear weak spot at one of the spots, I do have some semblance of confidence that Jalen Rivers can be in there. But again, like if you're having him week one against Myles Garrett and Mason Graham, like that's tough.
And you have two rookies there. I think Rivers. I think the plan is Rivers is eventually the starting right guard next year. That's what I think they see. Because I think Dylan Fairchild has looked good, but he's still a rookie. That's the thing. It's like he's going to make rookie mistakes. It's still going to happen. You just want less of them. And this is what I've been saying too. Is like your point where the Bengals start rolling in November and December, rolling into the playoffs, which they've done even the last 2 years when we went 9-8. That's November hits. And last year it was more like December hits, but normally it's November hits and they take off. This is where, for me, John, is as long as they are above 500, at 500, going into November, it seems like that's when Zach gets this team going and Burrow really starts cooking. And whatever issues we have with the defense, they start figuring it out. It's just the way the seasons have gone for the Bengals. If you look at the Super Bowl run in 21, that's what they did. They started rolling in November and they rolled all the way to the Super Bowl. So that's, for me, is just and I'm not saying just keep your head above water. If they go 5-0 or whatever, great, that'd be awesome. I'm not really expecting that, but at least 500, and then we are in this thing. So that's where I come back to the Dalton Risner thing. And if he is your right guard, to me, this just has a trickle-down effect to make the offensive line even more depth, where you're going to have Patrick, who can be your backup center and your backup guard. Cody Ford, go back to his, which I think is his best spot, is backup. He's a good guard, tackle, backup. And then you have Rivers there, who's another guard, backup tackle. That leaves me with the other center, McLaughlin. Do you think in that scenario he's still on this team? Because I think that's our future center. Nothing against Ted. I love Ted Karras, but I think this guy could be our future center. And if they try to put him on the practice squad, somebody might pluck him.
Isn't that interesting how there's such immediate concern with this offensive line, but big picture from a 2-year perspective, there's kind of some promise there. I think next year is when you might see Jalen Rivers as a full-time starter or get that chance. McLaughlin, I wasn't the highest on him coming out of college, but I do think that he is at the very least as good as Matt Lee, and I'm pretty bullish on Matt Lee. I remain bullish on Matt Lee. It's just that the fact that McLaughlin just returned to practice not too long ago. Matt Lee has been dealing with a pec injury. I think that was just finally disclosed this week, and he's going to play Saturday. I don't know who's winning this backup center job. I know that the guy who's been taking the reps with the twos, Andrew Ryan, has not been good enough, and I don't even think he's good enough to make the practice squad. So obviously the answer to backup right now is either McLaughlin or Lee, but who that is very much up in the air, considering the fact that both those guys have missed a lot of time. But yeah, long term, if these guys stay healthy, if you enter 2026 with McLaughlin or Lee as your starter, Jalen Rivers starting to right guard after he gets maybe a little bit of experience, Dylan Fairchild, who by the way looks fantastic after 2 preseason weeks, he's starting at left guard, and then you still have your tackles there. You feel pretty good about the offensive line. It's just getting there. It's just such a painful transaction.
So it goes back to I could see this whole offseason, I can see what the Bengals are trying to do. I don't like what they're trying to do. I can see with the defense, they want the Al Gold to come in and get these first and second round picks to play up to their potential, like they're supposed to. That's what they're trying to do. And I can see what they're trying to do with his offensive line, which come next year, if all this works out, they can have a good young starting offensive line, a pretty solid offensive line. But like you said, it's getting there. So that's where I keep going. I can see what they're trying to do. I just hope it works. That's the thing. It's just getting there. And that goes back to my problem with this is why in the hell, and I know you don't have the answer for this, I'm just stating, why in the hell did they wait so freaking long to go out and sign a right guard, which they still haven't signed Risner. We're acting like they signed it, but they haven't. That's why I just don't understand why they wait so long. It just boggles my mind sometimes with the way they just don't emphasize certain positions. Jesse Bates should still be on this team. We don't even need to go to that story, but it's just you can see the plan. I don't necessarily always like the plan, but at least you can see it, right?
I suppose. I think with Risner right now, if the Seahawks are the only confirmed visit that he has, they got their 2 starters settled. They were a team that were even more concerned about the guard situation than the Bengals at one point in the offseason. Like, they were desperate to sign Lucas Patrick. Some of their fans were. And when Lucas Patrick ended up signing with the Bengals, they were kind of a bit in dismay. But then they drafted Gray Zabel in the first round. He's looked really good. Their other starter is, I think, locked in as well. So he's kind of looking at like potentially a first guard off the bench role with the Seahawks. And I don't know if that was just a leverage play to get the Bengals to up their price a little bit more, which is always probably the case. But yeah, like, this could take the similar timeline of Noah Fant. When Noah Fant had multiple visits, visited the Bengals first. It was a good visit. By all indications, it was a good visit for Risner and a workout as well. There was some word about how the Bengals were probably more inclined to try to get a deal done with him on that day when he was arriving, whereas with Noah Fant, they expected him to take multiple visits. So again, this could just be Risner just last minute deciding that, oh, like, I want to survey my options and then I'll still pick the best situation for me. But I think we both agree that, money aside, like, even if the difference was like a couple $100,000, the Bengals are a spot where he can start. It's an offense that he's probably going to be comfortable with because it's a pass first offense. He has played experience with that, and he can be a part of something very special. So that is still, I think, the Bengals plan. It's always them just leaning on Joe Burrow as a crux, being like, hey, just come play with Joe Burrow, like, money be damned, whatever the case may be. But I think that remains to be their plan here as well.
Yeah, and his passer block rating is way higher than anybody we got at right guard right now. So it's not even close. You should go sign him. Now, other news, which I don't think this is big news, that Zach came out and said that none of the starters are going to play on Saturday, which I keep saying that. I think it's weird that we have a preseason game on Monday and a preseason game on Saturday. Then we don't have any games for almost 2.5 weeks till we start the season. So that's kind of concerning to me because, yeah, we played the starters in the preseason, but they're going to be not playing a real game for almost a month. I mean, it's, from last Monday to the start of the season. Is that concerning at all to you?
Not necessarily. I mean, for starters, like, the only reason why they played on Monday night was money, right? They want ESPN to have a Monday night game. So, I mean, it's preseason for everyone, right? It's preseason for the broadcasters too. So they got to get that out there.
And Troy Aikman.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, like, and always, like, the final week of the preseason, every game is either on like Thursday or Saturday, and then cuts around Tuesday and everything like that. But no, like, I think right now, like, getting the starters as much rest as possible is probably within their best interest. They've been through this before. They weren't used to playing this much in the preseason anyways, so they are more accustomed to being in game shape now compared to previous years, which is a positive. But yeah, like you said, like, when you're in December and January, you're dealing with like the bye week and what the Chiefs dealt with last year, where they had like 3 weeks of rest or something like that, that can be concerning. But I think right now, especially as injuries are starting to mount up and everything, it's just about maintaining that and just making sure that you're going into week one as healthy as possible.
I mean, the good thing about our injuries, yeah, they're mounting up, but none of them are like major injuries. And by the way, how much time do you have? Yeah, except for both. Which, I mean, like I said, was that a big one? But how much time do you have? I don't want to keep being longer.
Oh, I got another 20 minutes or so.
Okay. So I want to roll us to the secondary, and because from what I've seen at practice, be down there for training camp and up on the bridge, I've said this over and over and over again. I think the secondary has looked pretty good. Now, I think this past week they look a lot better than they did the first week when you have Dax Hill and you have Cam Taylor-Britt there. It helps. Now, safety aside, I think you're agreeing with me too. I think that they should go out and get a veteran safety just because for the what if, the injury thing. I love it. Tyson Anderson, I think, is actually going to get some playing time this year. I think he's deserved it. But what's your thought in general of the secondary from D-backs or corners to safeties?
Yeah, with corners, it's more of an unknown than I would have preferred it to be. And I think, you can't really force Dax on the field if he's not
right.
Like, I don't want to rush him. Obviously, no. Like, I think the slower that progression is, the better. And it sounds like he's going to be 100% for week one, which is still a win, even in the days where, like, ACLs don't take typically like a full year to recover from. It's still good that that's an 11-month recovery time for him. So that's great. You would have liked to see him practice and play in the preseason a little bit more, but I think that they feel pretty good about where he is. And I still think that he is their best cornerback. Cam Taylor-Britt, I think, has had a promising camp. So I'm confident that he's going to start the season. Okay, we'll see if he goes through the ups and downs of it like last year and everything like that. But I think right now to start, it'll be fine. The third cornerback spot is a little bit concerning because I think DJ Turner and Josh Newton, neither one of them have really solidified themselves as like that true answer. Mm-hmm. And it's good to have four cornerbacks that you feel like can start, but obviously when you're in a nickel defense, like, you want to have just some solidity with your three cornerbacks. So I'm very interested to see who's going to start there. Obviously they love Josh Newton in the locker room. He seems like wise beyond his years, but DJ Turner's just a better athlete and he's got more ball production to his name. So that's something that you also have to wait. I'm actually of the opinion that I'm fine with Tyson Anderson potentially starting for Geno Stone in case something happens. Like, I think that he's earned that
I'm
spot
fine
now.
with that. Yeah, I'm worried about beyond that. If something else happens, Tyson gets hurt. Anyway, sorry, go ahead.
Right. Yeah. So it's tough to kind of, I think, attract like a safety to be like, hey, like we'll have you on the bench here in case like, something happens. I think Anderson is athletic enough and he's been within the scheme of the defense long enough. He's kind of like Sean Williams was like 10 years ago, where he was just a special teamer for the first couple years. Then he started to get playing time when I think Reggie Nelson was hurt like in 2015. And also he earned like a nice contract. So he, turned out a decent career for a 3rd round pick. I see that as a possibility for Tyson Anderson if something does happen with Geno Stone, because I don't think Stone's leash is going to be particularly long this year after just getting the pay cut and everything like that. So I'm interested to see if they give him an actual opportunity, just like the past couple years when Nick Scott struggled, Jordan Battle's on the field. When Von Bell struggled, Jordan Battle's on the field. Well, now Jordan Battle's starting. So who's that next guy up? It's definitely Anderson. I'm excited for him.
Yeah, and I want to give him credit because people have kind of talked about the interception he got that the quarterback actually threw it to him. It was still a great break on the ball that Tyson had. I mean, I think it was still even a horrible pass, but it was a great play by him to get his toes in bounds and make that interception. Now, what's your opinion? We talked about, I think the downfall of the defense last year was, my opinion, is Lou was unwilling to start or play some of these younger guys. He didn't trust them, like Battle and Osai and different guys like that. Now, talk about the linebacking corps. We've had this conversation on here a lot. With Logan Wilson looking like he's maybe lost a step. Knight hasn't looked as good as we hope so. Burks has looked really good. I forgot the guy from Clemson. Barrett Carter, thank you. Those guys have looked better. They look better in this last game than the starters have. How quickly do you think the leash is for Al Golden on these guys? If they're not performing quickly, do you think he's going to have a quick hook on them and switch them in and out, or what's your thoughts?
Yeah, I think with Wilson, obviously he's there to stay. I don't foresee them benching him. I think Al trusts him to make the calls and wear the green dot and everything like that. He's probably gonna have a C patch on his jersey as well. I think with Knight, the situation is probably pretty fluid considering that he is a rookie. They drafted 2 linebackers for a reason. They have a Super Bowl champion behind there for a reason. So they overhauled that group a lot more than people expected. And I think it's because they have they are instilling a lot of trust in guys that don't have a lot of experience. So they need options as well. I've been pretty impressed with Joe Giles Harris. I think he's probably a lock to be like linebacker 5 or 6 if they go that deep. And that was previously like a competition really between Muma and Njongmeta and Shaka Hayward. And maybe now only one of those guys make the team. If not, maybe neither of them make the team. So it's an interesting group right now. And I think it's a lot different than a lot of people would have expected it to be. But yeah, like if Knight was playing, like if he was clicking and closing a lot better, if he was reading his gaps, if he was just being a little bit more physical than he has been, I think Logan Wilson probably would have been looking a little bit better on film as well. So right now, I think it's just about adjusting to the growth of Knight and just seeing if that is going to be a truly debilitating problem when the actual games come about. And at that point, again, you have options with Carter and Burks, who both of them have been getting some first team reps here and there in camp. So I think they've been preparing to get them on the field, especially when you're in more of these 4-3 looks with a lot more of a higher frequency compared to a Lou and Arumo defense. So those guys aren't going to be like wide-eyed, like brand new into the scheme or anything like that if they do have to make a change.
Yeah, so I mean, now just Ken's telling everybody in the chat, and I guess us on the show here to relax. It's preseason, which I mean, that's really, and I've said this, it's preseason. It's hard to me to determine how they actually look sometimes. But like I said, the red flags is missing tackles, not lining up. Those are things that you should do in the preseason. You should. So those are red flags that need to be cleaned up. I do think they're going to get better as the season goes on. But those are just things and I'll put it this way. The preseason has totally changed from 10 years ago. And I hate when I do. I can't remember people's names. The head coach for the Los Angeles Rams is
Sean McVay.
Thank you, Sean McVay. Before he came into a head coaching job, starters played in the preseason. It was always we'd have 4 preseason games. The third one was the showcase before the game, and then nobody played in the fourth one. Well, he got in here. He never plays the starters. And that's the thing. I've noticed it's coming back and forth now, or back more toward, I think, people playing in the preseason. And, like, it's football, man. Like, you can't go out there and like, oh, I can't get hurt. That's exactly when you start getting hurt. So things are always trending. I think we're going to see more of the running game come back this year just because of what the Eagles did. Things are always trending differently. Do you think that has how much of the Bengals not playing in the preseason has hindered them from starting? Because starting off the good ways. I think it's hindered Burrow because I think Burrow just does better at seeing the rush, feeling the rush, just certain things he said, and getting in timing rhythm with his wide receivers. And that's why he was out there for so long for the second wide receivers and try to get the timing with them. Now, he shouldn't run backwards. He should just throw the ball away. It's preseason. That would be nice. But what do you think that's going to a trend that's moving forward that they're going to go back to? I mean, I don't think McVay's going to do it because he's the one that started, but that is the trend going to be more of teams playing their players in playing their starters in the preseason?
I don't know. I feel like it's just different for every team because some teams are really honing in on these joint practices. The Bengals didn't do one this year. They didn't deem that it was necessary because they were going to play their guys in the preseason. But I think that's where the real trend is going, where it's a lot of focusing on these intra-squad scrimmages where you can control the environments a lot more, but you can get, like you said, like you can't practice at half speed in those environments either because again, you can get hurt. So you still have to go all out, but at least it's not like in a stadium where there's a lot of variables at play. Like you can control it a little bit better. You can get some quality work, and then you can give the second and third stringers a chance to make the team when the actual preseason games are here. I think the two biggest issues with the Bengals in their slow starts has been Burrow's health. He just hasn't been himself. And when Burrow is not playing it as well as he can, the Bengals are just not as good of a team. And particularly in the last 2 years, the defense just hasn't been good. And that's just due to a lot of losses in the personnel department and just the lineups not being as good as they should be. And the offseason's not being as strong in that regard. So that's obviously a concern this year, considering the fact that I don't know, there's a lot of confidence in the defense right now, but you have confidence in Burrow being closer to his normal self in week one. And that can make a huge difference because the reality is week 1 and week 2, Joe Burrow in his career is significantly different than weeks 13 through the Super Bowl. So.
Yes. And one thing that I really loved hearing from Monday Night Football is Burrow said this is the best he's felt since his rookie year. Yeah. So that right there gives you encouragement that like we should be hitting this hit the ground running with our offense. Now, Shamar Stewart, just in general, I thought he flashed the first game, not so much the second game. He looked like he got in the backfield and then kind of got lost a little bit. He's a rookie. These things are going to happen. He's a work in progress. I do think he's going to be a really good player for us. But what's your thoughts so far for what you've seen Stewart do?
I am really interested because for one, I do believe that obviously they are holding stuff back in terms of schematics with the defense. And I'm really interested to see what that means for Shamar Stewart and in terms of just utilizing him in ways that he can win now. Because if you just ask him to do the things that Trey Hendrickson does, right, and just win a one-on-one situation against a true pass set, against in like a wide nine sense, whatever the case may be, and just having him disengage and winning with a pass rushing plan, you're going to be you're setting him up for failure right now because that's just not who he is. But if you can utilize him on blitzes and stunts and twists and gains and put him at a defensive tackle, wherever the case may be, I think right now the plan right now is just for him to just get some exposure out there and just get his feet wet because he just missed the entire offseason. But once the regular season begins and all the work that they're doing with him in practice and lining him up at different spots and utilizing the versatility that Al Golden's been really harping him on, I think that he is one of the biggest variables in terms of what this defense truly looks like and how he's used. So my opinion on him is that we just haven't seen anywhere close to the version of Shamar Stewart that we're probably going to see in the regular season. Again, the production may not be there, but the disruption and just the presence of his athleticism and his burst and ability to maybe affect some of these passing lanes that just haven't been the case in recent years. I'm really interested to see what the full exotic plan for him is because they definitely need him to make an impact based off what the rest of this defensive line looks like.
Yeah, exactly. And I really, again, I'm planning on Trey Henderson signing with the Bengals. I'm really looking forward to how this defense and how Shamar Stewart and Trey Henderson play off of each other because I think that could be a really good 1-2 punch from wherever you're lining Shamar Stewart up because that's the thing that I am the most excited about to see from him is the different places they line him up and how many different schematic things they come up for him to do because I think like John, I've been thinking about this. I don't remember us having a defensive player that can line up in 3 different spots like Shamar can. I don't even remember us having one. Is there one I'm missing out there that you can think of that we've been able to do this? I don't remember one.
That was kind of the whole thing with Marcus Hunt, was it not? He was just so
Well,
big and fast that he could do anything.
What that actually did do that. I'll put that was supposed to do that.
No, it's been a while, man. It's been a while. Like I think with Stewart, like the whole thing with Lunarumo is that like you knew exactly what their defensive ends looked like when they drafted them. There was always like the same dimensions and the same athleticism profile. And Shamar Stewart is not even that far away from that. Is basically like a souped up version of Miles Murphy.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that he is probably the most explosive pass rusher that maybe they've ever drafted, maybe outside of Geno Atkins for his size, it does lead you to a lot of possibilities in which you can use him either a 2-point stance and a 4-point stance, which he was a lot at Texas A&M. It is still going to take him some time for him to just win in a multitude of ways, and it's just really up to Jerry Montgomery and Al Golden to basically put him in the best positions to make an instant impact. Because again, like with Miles Murphy now, like having an injury and he's week to week, you don't know how long it's going to take Trey Hendrickson to maybe play a full game. Like I think he'll be fine in the pass rushing opportunities that he gets if he's out there week 1, but he may need like a week or two to really get into full game shape and everything like that. So that just puts more of an emphasis on Shamar Stewart playing like a full workload, and that may put him in situations where he may not make an impact for 90% of the game, but that 10% when they really dial up like a blitz or a twist or a stun or whatever the case may be, that is when he's going to be needed.
I'm just cracking up at Ken. I love Ken in the chat. I feel
he's
like
going off.
I feel like he's arguing with himself. It's just the last 5 comments are all Ken. I love you, Ken. You're awesome. You're getting all fired up, and I don't think anybody's arguing with you. But anyway, I do want to. I want to talk about our Bearcats here for a little bit. We got them coming up here. Yes, we have to. Next Thursday, they're going to Burrowhead and taking on Nebraska. You don't look like you're confident at all. I'll put it this way. I'm not confident. I don't know where I'm at on the team, to be honest. I don't know where I'll go there and I'll talk crap. Well, not go there. I'm going to talk crap and have fun. But I'll put it to you this way, and I'm not going to take credit for this. I heard it from I can't remember, somebody other on a podcast said I think it was Tony Pike compares this game as to how Fickle went to UCLA and won. That the chance if they win this game, how this could springboard this season here. I don't know if they're going to go in there and win or not. I hope they are, but I mean, is that do you feel it could be that big of a win for the Bearcats if they go in there and beat Nebraska?
Absolutely. Like for any team that's pegged to win 5.5, 6 games in the season, if you go out and beat a team that is another Power 4 opponent and gets a nice win on the resume, of course to be big. I've just really sour on this whole situation. The fact that this game was supposed to be in Indianapolis, it was still a home game for the Bearcats, and all of a sudden it's out in Kansas City.
Right,
it's a lot closer to Nebraska. Like the whole thing is just it reeks of capitalism and just just a lot of stuff I don't like. So no, I don't like the whole optics of this game necessarily, and I'm still not particularly confident on Satterfield getting these guys ready to play, but I will say that I do have confidence in Sorsby and Joe Royer. I think the passing game with those two guys are going to be fine. Caldwell really intrigues me as well. I mean, Pryor coming out of the backfield. So they have pieces that I like on offense, and I'm interested to see how Corleone does and what is probably going to be his last year in Cincinnati. But yeah, I don't like playing in Arrowhead Stadium for what is supposed to be a home game against a team that is basically a home game for them. So.
It is. That's what I was tracking. Like it's our home game, but it's closer to Nebraska than us. Now, one thing I'll say this, that I sat usually gets them off to a good start, so that gives me hope. It's the end of the season or the middle of the season is where it starts falling apart, and that's what happened with Sorsby last year. And Sorsby, for some reason, last year to me, I don't know if he's hurt or what, which I think I heard he was hurt. He went through the ball deep last year toward the end as much as he did at the beginning of the year. And that's what I think we need to get back to is showing off his arm. And because I do think he is a Big 12 legit quarterback. I do think we finally have a legit quarterback, but I just that we lost something halfway through the year last year. So that gives me some hope to go in there and win. But I don't know. I mean, it's definitely a make or break year for Sat. I think if he does, he's got to make a bowl game. He's got to. If he doesn't, he's gone. Now, question for you: if they are 6-6 and they make a bowl game, I still think he might be gone. I don't know. What's your thoughts?
I mean, that contract is still what, it's got 3 years left of like fully guaranteed. It's
something
just
like that.
I don't know if UC has the capital to kind of absorb that.
We need some big donors.
It's not going to be me. I'm an alum, and it's still not going to be me until I see some changes. I need to see a lot from Cunningham because it's not just Sat that's on my radar right now. I just realized that isn't Nebraska's quarterback basically like a Patrick Mahomes mimic, and he's going to be playing in that stadium. Like the whole thing just irks me. It just irks me.
Get John all fired up already just talking about it. Yeah,
but yeah, 6-6 is not good enough for me at all. No,
I don't think so. And it's just we got. I'll be happy we make a bowl game. I will, but I'm not sold on Sat. I never was. Like the thing for me is, and I hope I eat my words. I hope I'm wrong. I hope Satterfield proves me completely wrong. What's worked for Cincinnati is going out and getting a MAC school head coach and bringing them. I mean, we did it with Kelly, which everybody hates Kelly now. We did it with Butch. I mean, now I know Fickle was a defense corner with Ohio State, so it's a little different. But those are the guys that work. We were those young, hungry guys. It's like when we get someone who's semi-established, it doesn't work. It never has. So that's where, if they do get rid of them, that's the way I hope they go, and that's the way I hope Cunningham goes, because that's the way he went in basketball, even though Wes hasn't really worked out yet. That's what was surprising with me, that they went with Satterfield, because it was a lateral move. I mean, Louisville was happy to get rid of him.
Yeah, he failed up, which is never a good sign, especially when you're entering like a whole new arena in the Big 12, which I guess was the whole thing. Like they wanted someone with recruiting experience at this level, but he didn't have a lot of success. And I don't know how like his resume really spoke to them, which is like you said, like I liked the West hiring at the time because he was like an up and coming assistant, like looking to make his name for himself. And I do think that both Sad and Wes are significantly better recruiters than they are actual coaches, which is why there's always like this hype before the season, and then when the season happens, it's just it's never as good. So yeah, both those guys, their seats should be scorching hot.
Yeah, and with the news came out yesterday, Joseph James is no longer on the team. So just keep that kid in your thoughts and prayers. He's going through some stuff. I've heard. I don't want nobody's reporting it, so I'm not going to say what I've heard. So. But unless it comes out as an actual official report, I'm not going to share it. But it's losing Jizzle that's a big loss. I mean, that's, you got Day. I think he's our only returner player from last year.
Yeah, it's like because Jizzle, like, hopefully everything's okay with him, but like he was never quite as good as you hoped he was. So like there was the sense of like, like it stinks that he's gone, but like, there was some unfilled potential there, but like you said, on the other hand, all you're left with is Day, and you have basically a lot of unknowns there. So, not good.
No, it's not a good situation. But either way, hey, maybe we're wrong. Who knows? I hope we're wrong. We'll see. So, John, you got to plug some stuff, your articles or anything before I let you get on out of here.
Yeah, guys, you know where to go. A2ZSports.com/Cincinnati, A2Z Sports Cincinnati YouTube, and with the Godfather on the Orange and Black Insider Bengals podcast for the Believe in Podcast channel network.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That channel network.
Jesus.
Whatever. Whatever it's called. Just look it up. The Godfather of the Brain. You'll find him. Thanks, John. Appreciate it, brother.
See you guys.
See ya. All right, guys. It's going to be you and me for the rest of the time here, John. I didn't want to keep him any longer than I had to. What you got, Natty Ron? Oh boy. Wait, this one. Ice. It's not the big. He's going through some stuff. So I'll just keep it that way. That's all I know. Hey, Ken, if you follow me on Twitter and I find out something, or Facebook, I will let you know when they sign Riser. I do think it's going to happen. But I do kind of want to talk a little bit of Cincinnati Reds. I know Natty Ron is out there in Zona, and he said on Talkbacks today he's gonna be out there for a couple games with the Diamondbacks and the Reds. Right now the Reds are on a 3-game winning streak. They should sweep the Los Angeles Angels tonight. They're a better team. They've been playing like it. I have not, to be honest. I haven't been. Obviously, I've been able to say I've watched the whole game. Most of you know that I work really early in the morning, so I've been falling asleep listening to it on the radio. And you bet the game Sunday. There you go. All right, awesome. Well, make sure you represent us. And yes, Ken, the Reds did win. They are on a 3-game winning streak. They won last night. What was it, 6-4? Yeah, 6. I think it was 6-4. I thought I wrote that down. Anyway, this is the time for, I'm on Substack now. If you guys want to subscribe, I'm going to write some articles and stuff on there. Give my thoughts. If you guys are interested, please go to Sports with Strawberry Ice on Substack. Tweeted the link out. You guys can subscribe there. It's free. But this is the time of year for the Reds to go on that big, long winning streak that they have not been able to do. And it's now or never. And they're on a 3-game. They've done the 5-game winning streak 3 times, I think, this year. This needs to be a good 7 to 10 game winning streak. I think they and this is the teams to do it. Yeah, they don't typically do good out in the West Coast, but you got the California Rangers. The Reds are better than them. You got the Diamondbacks. The Reds are better than them. This is the time for them to not play down to their opponents, to play up to their potential. And this is where we need Terry Francona to do some Tito magic and get them to do that, which I think he's done that the last couple of days. So this is why I've said this is a big series, big road trip for the Cincinnati Reds, because it doesn't get any easier. I think we got the second toughest schedule in the NL for the last months of the season. I don't know why Siri's trying to talk to me there. I said series, not Siri. But yes, I this is the time for them to get this done. And yes, you're right. Natty Green was on fire last night. And what about the Mets? The Mets won last night, so we are a game out of the wild card. Ken here says September is make or break. They got a rough schedule yet. Yes. Esther, what do you think about anyone on ESPN saying Cincinnati is wasting Burrow's career because of the I think everybody at ESPN just says stuff, clicks and likes, to be honest. But what I was talking about with the Reds is this is I wish this is the series, or excuse me, this is the road trip that could propel them into the playoffs. Especially, let's just say they win tonight. They win 2 out of 3 in Arizona. Hopefully they sweep all of them, and they roll into the Dodgers in LA, and they take 2 out of 3 out of that. That would be a huge statement. And right now, the Dodgers are scuffling. Their pitching is kind of down. The Reds are hitting, playing fun, playing like we expected them to play. This is where they could go in there and do it. And they need to. They have to go there. And maybe sometimes, just getting out on the road, there's nothing at home to drag you down. You don't have to listen to the media as much as you do when you live in Cincinnati. You don't have to hear from fans saying you guys suck. You aren't as good as I thought you were. Yada yada yada. You're on the road. It's a long road trip. 3-game, 3-city tour here on the road, and it's just you and your teammates, and you against the rest of the world being road warriors. And that's what I'm hoping that happens, and they get that done this week. Because, the Brewers series went how it went, but they played with the Brewers. They should have won all 3 of them. And you can say what you want. Yeah, they should have made the defensive plays. They should have got the hit. They should have. But they did play with them. And the Brewers had to play their ass off to beat the Reds. So none of those games were easy for the Brewers to win. Yes, they won 2 out of 3. But the Reds had to lead in all 3 games. The Brewers had to come back. So they made them fight. They know the Brewers know the Reds aren't just pushovers. So you take some solace in that. We'll see. Yes, Ken. Katie was on Bengal Jim's. Not Katie. Elizabeth was on Bengal Jim's podcast the other day. You're correct. Natty Ron, 8-1 is perfect. 7-2 is the goal for the road. Yeah. That's if you can come back 7-2, Ron, dude, that we're in this thing. Dude, we come out 7-2, we're in the playoffs. We got that wild card spot if it's 7-2. So we'll see where they're at. But like I said, to me, I keep trying to tell people this. Like, I said this, in 2021 when the Bengals wanted to run. Enjoy this. Yeah, the Reds aren't exactly what we want. They aren't. They did not go out and get that big hitter, but they did go out and get guys to improve this team, not the way we wanted them to do it, But damn it, it's August 20th, and they're in this thing. I mean, so I choose. Yeah, I get frustrated, ticked off when they kick the ball around and they, don't get hits when they should. You go score 8 runs against the Brewers, or 7 runs in one game against the Brewers, 1 inning against the Brewers, and then you don't get another hit the rest of the game. It's frustrating. I understand. It is. But it's still fun. This is way more fun than having meaningless games in September. I hate meaningless games in September. I won't watch them unless they got some rookie prospect that I want to see. I don't care to watch them then. So that's why this is what we've wanted. It's not the team we wanted. We want that, we want to be the Dodgers. We want to be the Yankees. We're not, And yes, the Reds could do this. Yes, Castellini should do better and go out and get, better players or at least, a couple better players that they have, but they don't. And maybe they will someday. I'm holding out hope, but I'm living it here and now. And this is what we have. And I get kind of tired of hearing, he's just a guy. Oh, he's just like, we got good players. Look, for years, I heard how Nick Lodolo was, he's just a pitcher. He's just a guy. I kept saying Nick Lodolo is a good freaking pitcher. He just got to stay healthy. Hunter Green is a really good pitcher. Just got to stay healthy. Now, that's a key to it. And Nick Lodolo this year has proven he's a really good pitcher. Matt McClain. I love the dude. He's coming back from shoulder surgery, and I will keep saying that. I don't know if he's going to hit that well this year at all. Eugenio Suarez, when he injured his shoulder, playing with his kids in his pool, it took him a year and a half to get back to where he was. Shoulder injuries are nothing to mess with. I like Evan Lux as a hitter. If you could combine Matty Bat's defense and Lux's offense, you have the perfect player. But you can't do that. Lux has proven that you can't trust him at second base. Matty, you could put at second base, and he plays solid defense. And that's, to me, the thing you need going down the stretch. We got to be able to make the plays, the routine plays. You got to be able to make them. Novi Marte, I think, has, like I said, taken right field like a fish to water. He's starting to hit the cover off the ball. So the thing is, you got the team you got. Enjoy it as much as you can. It's frustrating as crap. Trust me. I know it is frustrating. But I'd rather have this than get my head kicked in every single day. And I'm not giving the Castellinis a pass. They should have done more. I mean, like the Bengals, they should have done more. They should have went out and got a right guard. We shouldn't have to be sitting there on pins and needles waiting for Dalton Risner to sign. They should have done better. They should have went out and signed some more guys on defense. They should have. They got the money. They should have already signed Trey Henderson. They should have done this. I'm not giving anybody a pass. I just remember the Bengals completely sucked all the time, and the Reds sucked all the time. Okay? I do this every single day for a podcast. They give stuff to talk about. Them just being terrible all the time. There's not a whole lot to talk about. No. Let's see. What do you got here? Yep, you're frustrated with Matt. I get you, Ronnie. I do. I'm frustrated with it too, but I keep going back to the way he played his rookie year before he got hurt. And I think he's going to get back to that. I just don't know how soon it is. And yes, Marte move to right field was excellent. I am shocked at how good he's playing right field because I'm going to stick with this. I think Ellie should be an outfielder eventually. I do. I think he's been, what is his third year, second full year in the majors, and he's still messing the throws up. If Arroyo down in the minors can freaking hit the daggone ball like we think he can, he's an excellent shortstop. That's your future shortstop if he can ever stay healthy and start hitting. Ellie, to me, defense speed, size, his arm, he's Ken Griffey Jr. And he does the same thing that Marte does. They knew Marte would be good in the outfield because of the way he tracks the ball. Look at Ellie when he runs with his back to the infield and tracks the ball and catches it. Ellie will be a Gold Glove center fielder, and I personally think his power will come back because it's a lot easier to play center field physically on you. I know you're running the walls and all that stuff, but physically you're not moving and running and diving and everything as much as you are. You have innings sometimes where the ball doesn't even get hit to you. I think it would take the pressure off of Ellie because Ellie wants to be great. Ellie wants to be a great shortstop. It might not be in the cards for him. I think he can be a great center fielder. And yeah, oh my God, we have two guys who used to be shortstops in right and center field. Who cares? They could be two really good outfielders for us. I'm not saying move Ellie now. I'm not saying that because I'm not sure who you put at shortstop unless you want to put Matt McClain at shortstop and Lux at second. And that makes, to me, your infield worse because I think Matt McClain and Ellie are better combination than Matt McClain at short and Lux at second. I'm thinking maybe next year you might consider moving Ellie to center field. Just my thoughts. I mean, like I said, if you guys watch the show, you know I've been saying this for a while. Can Ellie play right guard? Ellie will be getting his ass whooped playing right guard, Chris. He's too skinny. Too skinny. Yeah, Natty, Ellie should be in center eventually. I'm not saying now, but I do think eventually that's where he's going to be. Brad, Castellini has never, I agree with this. Has never done what he promised when he purchased the Reds. And I quote, I'm going to bring championship baseball back to Cincinnati. How many championships have we won? Oh, yeah, 0. He said he was going to bring back winning baseball since the championship baseball, and he has not. I mean, he's done better than our former owner, not Marge. Marge, say what you want about Marge. Marge wanted to win. I can't remember our other owner before that. He wanted you to come out and watch Kenny Griffey Jr. and Barry Larkin and no pitching. So, yeah, we'll see. Ken, I am not an offensive lineman. Dalton Risner, hell, Jackson Carmen can play right guard better than me. Let's see, Ken, what we got here. The Brewers are loaded. Don't forget the Dodgers. Yeah, they're look. Just get in. Just get into the playoffs. The best team doesn't always win. You get in the playoffs, you get hot pitching, you can win. Crip, where have you been? Sorry, I'm late, Iceman, Mr. Jeffro. Go ahead, and I'll go ahead and take 2 laps now. Yes, go. Take your laps. What's wrong with you? 5:30 every day. What's wrong with you? Jeez, so Crip, you've been watching my show since like day 1. Anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed that. I've been live streaming on YouTube, Facebook, X, Twitch. You can follow me on all those, along with Instagram, Threads, and TikTok. Like I said, I'm on Substack now. You guys, I'll be doing some articles there. So go to Sports with Strawberry Ice. Also, I'll be pulling a sign off later on tonight, putting on the podcast on BeanPod, Apple, iTunes, Spotify, Google, Stitcher Play, pretty much wherever you get your podcasts. Do me a favor. Make sure, listen to it. After you listen to it, rate, like, and review. Leave a 5-star review and a comment so more Cincinnati fans can find my podcast. This Saturday, I will be at Moorline Lager House. And like I said, we're going to be doing our tailgates there. Again, 3 hours for every home game. And we're also going to be doing road tailgates. This Saturday, we're going to be shooting a commercial. It's basically B-roll. Basically, what B-roll is, they're going to video all of us in our Bengals gear, drinking, having fun, listening to music, partying, and it's going to be part of the commercial that's going to be on Channel 12. So if you guys are interested, come on down between like 11, 11:30. And I'm going to be down there playing music. It's going to be just like a regular tailgate. That's where we're going to start. I'm going to go down there. I'm going to get down there about 10 and set up. We'll start rolling about 11 a.m. So it's not going to be a full tailgate as we normally are going to do during the regular season. But come on down between 11 and 11:30, and maybe you can get on TV and be part of the Moorline Lager House and Strawberry Ice tailgates. Let's see. Let me get to the other sponsors of my show, which are as follows. Priority Lawn and Landscaping. If you guys need your grass cut, if you need shrubbery trimmed out, you need, new shrubbery, trees trimmed, anything. paper patio, a fire pit. They put a fire pit in my backyard. Anything. Lawn and landscaping required. Think Priority Lawn and Landscape. Actually, don't think it. Call them at 513-430-6114. That's 513-430-6114. Also, shows brought to you by T Properties. Quality housing for quality people. Check out the website at www.tpropertiesllc.com for all your rental property management needs and your rental needs. And, of course, Meyer Window, Door and more. I got them in my house. I highly recommend you get them in yours. They're energy efficient, great looking windows. You can check out the website at MeyerCincinnati.com. And of course, like I said, Moreline Lagerhouse, my favorite brewery. We got the tailgate commercial coming this weekend. But mark your calendars for September 9th. I will be doing a live show for 2 hours. I'm gonna need some people there. Cheer me on. Have some fun. 2 hours, 5:30, 7:30. The Dine for 9. What that means is 9% of the portion proceeds that your food, drink, whatever, goes to the Joe Burrow Foundation. Now, Moreline Lagerhouse is not the only restaurant doing this. There are other restaurants that are doing it, but Moreline Lagerhouse is the only one I'm going to be at for my live show. Got Bengals all-time leading scorer Jim Breach will be there. 2 members of the Bearcats 1992 Final Four team, Terry Nelson and Corey Blunt will be there. It's going to be a great time. Joe Farsi's going to be joining me. Bengals captain might be joining as well. He said he's going to try and show up. And we're going to kick the season off. So come on down to Moreline Lagerhouse. Support the Joe Burrow Foundation. Dine for 9. If you guys want to get some reservations, just go to my Facebook page. It's pinned to the top of the Facebook page for the event. Click on that. Bring you right to the event page. You can click on reservation. I suggest you get your reservations because I think it's going to be sold out. So get them quickly as you can. Other than that, you guys have a wonderful day. I'll see you tomorrow. And remember one thing only. That's Who Day for life. And as always, throw it up. That's just sports, baby. See ya!
Another great show. You guys still here? The show's over. You can come back tomorrow. I'm out of here. See ya.